Hey yogis, welcome back. It's the YogaLocal podcast, and this is when I get to just drop by and maybe just cover some of the topics that we have covered in class, just to give them a little bit more of an airing. There's only so much we can cover in an hour's class, and some of you are kind of like maybe not getting to class on a weekly basis, so it's important for me that I take you on this journey as much as possible. We're working with the theme of love this month, and this week has been about tough love, and I must admit I've probably enjoyed it a little bit too much. But it's because I know I have that real desire for you to kind of reap the rewards of your practice. And like there's nothing kind of worse and gives me that like sinking feeling that there's no progress, right? There's always been this hunger for me to learn, to evolve and grow in really no matter what I've done. But specifically here, like, you know, I want you guys to kind of thrive. I want you to come here and really every week tap into something that is new and engaging and gives you that next bit of wisdom, that next little nugget, that next little expression in your body, that next ability to expand your body in some way. So that's what excites me, and it's in the application of the message of tough love that I think that really starts to unfold. Yoga would call it kind of the tapas, the element of heat, that bit of friction. And what I'm trying to get you guys to start to buy into is that it's not always about someone else metering out that tough love, right? It's down to us as yogis. We're coming to our practice and we are ready to do the work. We're not waiting for someone else to give us permission. We're not waiting for someone else to spot what needs to be resolved. This is an internal job. This is what makes me really laugh about, not laugh, more kind of like get frustrated about this idea that yoga is about the soft option. You know, we get a lot of people, and I don't blame them. Like, this is what's getting put out there quite a lot, that yoga is this practice of relaxation and quietening the mind and just having a nice little stretch. Right, it's way more than that. Yoga is just being really undersold. If that's all we're doing, like, we're missing the point and we're missing the magic, and that, is not what I want for you guys. Like, we can go and stretch out in the gym, right? We want to do something more with our lives. We want to be able to grow and evolve. We've got to do some hard work and get under the hood and start to change, right, what we're currently doing, because if we carry on doing the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. And it's just dull, right? Just coming back to the same old day, it's just dull. But it's hard for us to face up to the fact that there's things in our life that need sorting, and sometimes there's massive obstacles, and I get that. We think that everything is against us, and we're just kind of doing our best, taking very little time for ourselves, taking very little time to understand what makes us happy, what makes us thrive. We're kind of just trying to survive. And yoga would say that in that instance, we're kind of operating from our lower energy centers, our survival, and our cohesion, keeping things together, which relates to chakra number 1, which is Mula Bandha at the base of the spine, and chakra number 2 at the pelvic center, which is Svadhisthana chakra. We can operate from those two areas all our life and never really power up, never really level up beyond that. And that's a real shame, because we're with these amazing these amazing human beings with so much more creative potential. And that's what yoga is calling us towards. That's what our soul is calling us towards, right? We are like these really powerful, highly creative beings that are just kind of hanging out in our lower energy centers and getting stuck there and not really fulfilling our full potential. Like, if we're going to shift past those, like the lower mind thinking, our denser energies, those energies that just keep us in the same old, then we're never going to grow. We're never going to evolve. We're never going to have those experiences of just elevating ourselves beyond where we currently are, so we get a different perspective on life. There's two kind of focuses in yoga that speaks to the lunar path and the solar path. So the lunar path, the moon path, which is what we call anchor, deals with our content, our mental content, the mind. So it's really about uncovering all the mental patterning, all the obstacles of the mind, all the dense thoughts, all the negativity, and starting to settle all that down, get really still, and so that we can maybe have the potential for new thinking, new thought patterns, new ways of looking at life. And then in the solar path, which is the rise practice, we're looking more at momentum and using energy to move us past the obstacles, rather than allowing ourselves to become overly attached to our current ways of thinking, our current ways of living, our current ways of believing. So the pranic conversation is a conversation of how do I start to change my energetic state in order to up-level my perception of the way things are. Again, to do that, it's tough. It's a tough journey, and not for softies. Okay, we come to our mat and we start to deal with our stuff. It's about bringing it up, so moving up from the denser areas of our awareness and bringing it up for transformation or assimilation. Okay, we can either move beyond it, or we can start to assimilate, so make it a kind of something that we learn from and something that we grow from, not something that just keeps us small, keeps us stuck, keeps drawing us back down to lower mind thinking. So everything in yoga is moving you towards that place, and the tough love is like and this is why I've used the goddess pose this week, because goddess for me represents the goddess. There's a number of goddesses in yoga, but I kind of really relate to the goddess Kali. She's a mean-looking woman, and on first look she's just this destructive force that uproots everything, and really fierce and quite fearful and frightening character. But when you go deeper into the kind of symbolism behind her, it's all about the quality of doing whatever it takes to protect what is most important. So it's like you can align it to a mother's love for their child, and how fiercely protective we are of our kids, and how we would do anything to see them succeed, to protect them and not let them get in harm's way. And it's that kind of energy that when we practice, and what I've been asking you to, or inviting you to experience this week, it's that kind of energy that we need to kind of draw from. And it's not something we take from outside, it's something that we pull from, right? It's an internal desire, quality, passion, that we deserve to grow, we deserve to thrive, we deserve to follow our soul dreams. And that's going to require us looking deep, going deep, uncovering things that are holding us back, recognizing the things that haven't served us so far, letting them go. That's the surrendering aspect of our practice. Letting them go so that we can elevate, anchor so that the sun can be made to rise. This, again, starts with the mind, starts with the content. Get the content in order, look at what's we've acquired and what's our innate content, which basically means, all the stuff that we've accumulated over the years versus the fundamental part of who we are, what we were kind of like born with. And then momentum, like our pranic imprint. Every experience that we're having in life is we're wearing it, right? We're wearing it. We wear it through our emotions and our feelings, and everything that comes in through the senses is in some way leaving an energetic imprint. And our ability to kind of like wear things well or discard them is what is going to decide how much we're thriving in life. So moon practice, mind, content. Let's go into the mind. Let's get it steady. Let's see what's holding us back mentally, our belief systems, who we think we are. And then let's give our practice some momentum in our rise practice. Start to solarize, start to bring light to things, start to shift energy out of or stuck and stale, dense energy out of those lower chakras and start to fire things up from the navel center. That's the seat of our transformation, our Manipura chakra, and that's what's going to light us up. That's what's going to start to create the heat that's going to help us burn through our lower mind tendencies, help us digest our experiences so that we can then elevate and we can more into the heart, we can more into the qualities of the heart. We make ourselves more available to those energies of compassion and caring and understanding, because we've got an elevated kind of level of seeing things that helps us to tap into those feelings. But again, coming back to our theme, we have got to be ready to do the work. We've got to dish out a little bit of tough love, right? And start to do the work that we know we need to do, but, we don't necessarily enjoy it. My teacher says we're not here to do what's nice. We're here to do what's correct, what's strategic, what's going to get us the fastest route to where we want to go. We're not here to mess around. We've got one life. So let's start to live it. Let's start to do what needs to be done. Okay, so hope that's inspired you to, dish out a little bit of tough love. As I said this morning in class, there's always the opportunity to hug it out afterwards. And next week we are moving into the theme of self-love. So, everything's balmed, everything's coated. Our rise practice is coated with the solarizing and the cooling of the moon. And we can also learn to give ourselves what we need to help us on our path as we kind of, expose ourselves, we become vulnerable, that's when we really need to kind of offset with the self-love and the self-care element of practice. So we'll be exploring that next week. I would love it if you could join us in class for that. And next week, the podcast, so I'm nailing my flag to the mast here. So a little bit of accountability. Next week, we are going to run this podcast live. And that means you can interact, right? So you'll be able to talk to me like in a one-to-one, like live here, right now. And we're going to talk about our retreats coming up. So if you've got questions about coming on a retreat, if you've got concerns, or you really want to come but like you're not sure, is there something holding you back that we need to blast through, this is your opportunity to come on and ask some questions. I would also love it, you guys, if any of you who've been on one of my retreats would maybe like hop on the call and just feedback on what it's actually like. Because again, I think there's lots of misconceptions about what it's like to be on a retreat, and I just want to bust past a few of those. So next time, live podcast, please join us. Alison will be sending out the details. And come into the studio next week, or find an on-demand class to help you tap into some self-love after all this tough love. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.